Yeah, I might as well clarify something since the conglomerate is full of hypocrisies all the time and contradictions all the time. While it attacks me and attacks me and attacks me about the things that I say very consistently for years, and looks for any sort of discrepancy about the things that I say to try to justify what it does. I hate the conglomerate. I hate the conglomerate. I'm also not having a good day. Yeah, so yeah, the therapist that I had many years ago, who would encourage me to date people that I really did not think I should be dating. I mean, pretty much every situation that I got into, when she was my therapist, that ended up being a bad situation for me or for somebody else or both, was something that I initially thought was probably not a good idea. I would meet people and I would tell her about them, and I would say, well, this one, I don't think this is a good idea. This is just doesn't, I would have real hesitations about it, and she would just talk me out of the whole thing, right? And encourage me to do something that I did not think was a good idea, and it turned out was not a good idea. But she was not so shallow as to tell me to do things like, get a sugar daddy, that kind of thing. Or, go somewhere and pick out the guy who seems like the most important guy or the richest guy and date that person. Like, she never would have said something like that. She wasn't that bad of a person. She just, thought she knew better than I did about all sorts of things. And for some things, I asked her, and like what I should do about such and such a situation, and she would have a good answer, an intelligent answer. But about these types of relationships, no. I mean, we were she was not able to consider me as being equal to her as a person, really. As much as I'm sure she would deny that, she just could not think of me as someone who had good judgment. I was almost 30 when I started to see her, but it just didn't matter to her. I was the patient, she was the therapist, and that's all there was to it. But I know that we were in so much agreement about that type of value system. Like, you don't just go out and try to, snare guys with your beauty and get them to pay for stuff. It was not something we ever even needed to discuss. I mean, she never did and never would have encouraged me to be that type of person. And I never was that type of person.